India, a country of over a billion Indians, home to 1/6 of the world's population. With a financial literacy rate of less than 30%, India is ranked last among BRICS nations in terms of financial literacy. Also, there exists a gender gap of 7 points, with 73% of males and 80% of females not being financially literate. Most of the Indians like to invest in gold, real estate, or fixed deposits and recurring deposits, etc., because they feel that their principal is secured there. They don't want to risk their principal, as they lack risk management skills. They don't know how to make money from money. Also, a majority of Indians like to keep their money with themselves, which does not contribute to the economy at all. According to S&P Global FinLit survey, majority of Indians lack knowledge of basic financial concepts such as risk diversification, inflation, numeracy, and interest compounding, etc. Now, the question may arise, what is financial literacy all about? According to World Bank, it is the ability to use one's knowledge and skills to effectively manage financial resources, ideally for a lifetime of financial well-being. Indeed, financial literacy is something we all have to work on each day. Despite being a relatively new field of study, financial literacy has become increasingly important for governments and citizens. Without it, there can be broad implications for the economic health and stability of countries. In the series of upcoming video sessions, we will learn about basic terminologies related to financial literacy, its need and importance in our day-to-day life, and ways to become a smart investor. So stay tuned and share this knowledge with your loved ones as much as possible and help us in achieving a goal of 70% financial literacy rate by 2024. Just as balanced diet is important for your health, a balanced portfolio is important for your financial well-being. But before we dive deeper into the basics of saving and investing, let's first understand the need and importance of financial literacy. Financial literacy helps us in achieving financial freedom, a freedom to enjoy today without worrying for tomorrow, a freedom that we all strive for. Financial literacy also helps us in planning our financial goals effectively. From buying a new house to going out for a vacation and enjoying adventure sports, everything requires a perfect planning, and that's where financial literacy comes handy. Rise in price of goods and services over a period of time, better known as inflation, is another monster eating your hard-earned money. But if you are financially literate, then you will be able to grow your money at a better rate than the rate of inflation. Also, if you are financially literate, then you will be able to take informed financial decisions on your own without being dependent on your elders, friends, or other family members. Apart from this, financial literacy also helps us in building wealth, protect ourselves in case of emergencies, ensure our vitals adequately, enjoy a happy retirement, protect ourselves against exploitation, steer expertly during the financial hard times, and the list goes on. And now that you have learned about the need and importance of financial literacy, let's move further and learn about pillars of financial literacy. The first pillar of financial literacy is budgeting. Budgeting is a way of planning our income and expenses over a period of time, usually yearly or monthly. In simple words, it is the art of balancing our cash flows. Central government also prepares a union budget before the start of every financial year in the month of February. Similarly, state governments also prepare budget for their respective states. But there is a catch here. Government can prepare a budget where expenses are greater than income, as they can easily get loans. But as an individual, we can't do so. Also, taking loans to balance our expenses results in a debt trap, which is not good for any economy. If the difference between your total income and total expenses is negative, then it is termed as a deficit, and you should consider cutting down your expenses or increasing your income, or both if possible. If the difference between our total income and total expenses is positive, then it is a surplus, which provides a link to our next pillar, which is saving. Ideally, one should save before spending. The ideal equation should be income minus saving is equals to expenses. Nothing is permanent in this world, and the same applies to your regular monthly income. But you will still require money for your basic necessities even in case of no income. Therefore, it's better to start early and save regularly. Budgeting also helps in cutting down unnecessary expenses and hence increasing savings. The next pillar is credit and debt management. Many people need to borrow money for buying a house, children's education or marriage, etc. Borrowing money is neither good nor bad, but financial experts often distinguish between good debt and bad debt. Good debt is an investment in something that creates a value or produces more wealth in the long run. A loan to buy a house or education loan for your kids to pursue higher education could be some examples. Bad debt is a debt taken to buy something that immediately goes down in value or to buy something that you can't repay for on time. Example: loan to buy an iPhone or loan to pay your monthly expenses. It's a famous saying that emergencies come unannounced. No one plans to get an accident or become seriously ill. The chances of these things happening to you may be very small. So, we may put off buying the insurance we need. But these things do happen. It's only when the event occurs that we realize that we may not be well protected as we would wish. Insurance is a way to protect yourself and your loved ones from the financial hardship in case losses occur. The next pillar of financial literacy is investing, which will be the main topic of our discussion in the upcoming sessions. Investing is often confused with saving. While saving is the surplus of your income and expenses, investing is the process of allocating funds to buy diversified assets having a potential of generating profits over a period of time. Since it also involves risk, therefore risk management plays a vital role in investing. And now, the last pillar in the tally is financial discipline. Discipline plays a vital role in every aspect of life, but unfortunately, financial discipline is not given due consideration in most of the discussions. Most of you might be aware of the other 5 pillars, or at least a few of them. Even if you Google the pillars of financial literacy, then most of the articles would mention 4 or 5 pillars only. But trust me, financial discipline is the most important pillar. Many people invest, but the problem is they don't invest regularly, or they don't consider preparing a budget and hence unable to invest the optimum amount. During the financial hardships, they stop investing or they miss the premium deadlines of their insurance knowingly or unknowingly. This indiscipline hinders them from achieving their financial goals. Therefore, it's very important to stay focused and disciplined for a successful financial life. With that note, that's all for today's session. Thank you for tuning in. Hope you all enjoyed it. See you in the next session. Till then, stay safe, stay healthy, and happy investing.